The most disturbing CCTV incidents, Volume 3.
Go ahead! Go ahead! Go ahead! Go ahead!
28 incidents, 7
Bro, why does that...
levels. I searched through surveillance footage for hours and compiled the most disturbing CCTV
Oh my god, was it a rocket
incidents
launcher?
into this iceberg. We'll start with some unsettling clips first, but gradually go deeper into moments so horrifying, you'll sleep with the lights on.
Alright, it's all blurred.
1. Mayor's deadly morning. A black SUV was making its way through a quiet street in the Philippines just before dawn. But parked nearby was a minivan with...
Bro, he always just has such a dad fit going. It's so cool. And that mustache just gets stronger with every video.
heavily armed men inside, waiting for the
Sick.
perfect moment to strike. CCTV footage captured what happened next.
Oh my
The
god,
moment
it's in
the
level
SUV
1?
came within range, the men launched an RPG directly at it. The rocket slammed into the vehicle, engulfing the rear in smoke, but before the smoke could clear,
he's
a
good.
gunman in a red shirt opened fire with an automatic weapon. The target was Sharif Aguak Mayor Datu Ahmad Mitra Ampatuan Sr. heading home through Barangay Poblacion on the morning of January 25th, 2026. By chance, the bullets hit only 2 security escorts in their stomach, while Apatuan survived without injuries.
What is that? What? Is that a Scion? Really? No, that's a Toyota. Hey, Toyota gang.
However, this gave the attackers an opportunity to escape the scene. Yet only hours later, the police got a tip from someone
They have those in the Philippines? Am I just is that something else completely?
about an abandoned car in Datu Unsay town, which turned out to be the same van used in the ambush. As a result, a hot pursuit followed. The police killed 3 of the wanted attackers in a shootout.
Wow.
Only the gang leader, Rap Rap, who actually launched the RPG, got away. The surprising part was that
The
all
fun
his
part.
accomplices
That's not fair.
were none but his own family members, like his uncle, cousin, and siblings. Police suspect the mayor's killing stemmed from the Ampatuan clan's
What a
history of
beastly
violent
car.
political rivalry. But the real motive remains unknown until
Bro, in the flip-flops too. No way. That guy, that's hard, dude. And he's a gang leader. Like, come on. He's got that aura.
Rap Rap
Even blurred out.
is caught. A nature's shelter.
Wow.
4 men huddled under
Where do you get a rocket launcher in the Philippines? I don't even how do you find that? I mean, I don't know what the
a tree as heavy rain pounded an apartment complex in India.
I feel like
At the time, it
seen
seemed
this.
like the safest spot to wait it out. But within a split second, a powerful lightning bolt ripped through the trunk, and the CCTV captured the exact moment everything went
Oh my god.
wrong. A violent burst tore from the tree, and all 4 men collapsed instantly. The men, Ramprasad, Shivdut, Lali, and Anil Kumar, were horticulture supervisors who worked on the Vatika workshop
Oh my
in the
God.
complex. Since
They kind of knew what they were doing
the
then.
lightning had hit the tree directly, all 4 suffered severe burns. Particularly, Ramprasad had no pulse when he was taken to the nearby hospital.
Wow.
However, doctors revived him, but he was quickly put on ventilator support. On the other hand, Shivdut and Lali suffered burn injuries under their neck, and
Oh, that's some honestly. Like, what are the odds that that's the tree that gets shot too?
Anil felt severe pain in his hand and leg, which made him unable to stand. Just choosing the wrong shelter pushed them into a life and death situation. In the end, 3 made it out alive, but Ramprasad did not.
Damn.
One step
Bro, I thought they all died. They look like they just dropped like flies.
too far. On October 20th, 2024, a 23-year-old man, Uday, booked a room at WV Pride Hotel in...
I wonder what it's like getting shot by lightning like that, you know? Do you feel it? Is it like a car crash? Like a blunt force type thing?
One step
I don't know. I would not want to go that way. Like lightning or electricity.
Old man Uday booked a room at WV Pride Hotel in Hyderabad, India, to attend a friend's birthday celebration.
Was he chasing the dog?
He expected a fun night there, but everything changed the moment he stepped into the hotel lobby. There was a dog roaming in the third-floor corridor. CCTV footage showed that Uday started playing with it almost immediately, chasing it from one end of the corridor to the other. But during the chase, the dog suddenly made a sharp, quick turn that Uday couldn't follow, leading to a terrifying incident.
Oh, how embarrassing. What an embarrassing way to go.
In the third-floor lobby, one section of a window was open and had no protective grills or barriers installed.
Why was it open?
As Uday was moving too fast, he crashed through the open window and slipped over it.
I had some too, bro. You did something to somebody.
His body fell to the ground with a brutal thud. Immediately, his friends rushed downstairs in a panic and took him to a nearby hospital, but his injury was so severe that he died on the way. Level 2. A grim coincidence. A man on a scooter was passing through a crossroad in Nasharam, Hyderabad, when an old rusted electric pole suddenly gave way and crashed directly onto him.
Oh no.
The impact was so severe that it flung him off his bike. The rider was later identified as B. Sadvik, a software engineer riding home on September 2nd, 2025 after attending a religious festival. Tragically, he never made it home that night. The impact had killed him on the spot.
Wow, he just immediately died right there?
The rusted electric pole suddenly gave way and crashed directly onto him. The impact was so severe
I see.
that it flung him off his bike. The rider was later identified as
barely, he just died right there. That's some universe too. What's with that, man? Why is the universe just taking people out like that? What did y'all do? Or what thoughts did y'all have, I guess? That's kind of the main thing.
An Australian man walked in to Cappadocia Turkish restaurant in Karen, Phuket on December 11th, 2025. He sat at a table alone, repeatedly nodding and looking disoriented. To the people around, something felt off, but the moment a waiter went to check up on him, the situation escalated. Without warning, the man began yelling frantically and sprinted toward the exit. He didn't reach for the handle. Instead, he violently crashed head first into the glass door, shattering it instantly. The broken shards sliced into his right leg, severing a major artery, and he collapsed.
Ew, is that blood? So what, did he just get mad? Like all of a sudden? What the
Without
fuck?
warning, the man began yelling frantically and sprinted toward the exit. He didn't reach for the handle. Instead, he violently crashed head first into the glass door, shattering it instantly.
Bro.
The broken shards sliced into his right leg, severing a major artery, and he collapsed outside the restaurant, bleeding heavily. He was taken to Chalong Hospital, but doctors could not stop the massive blood loss.
You get to see the blood pooling right there.
Consequently, he was soon pronounced dead. Police later reviewed the footage thoroughly, identifying the man as Mr. James, who was an Australian tourist. However, the toxicology and medical reports could not confirm whether he was under the influence of any substance at the time. Because of this, what truly happened to him that day remains unsolved. Boiling Man. For the celebration of the Adi festival in India's Mudari city, a bunch of huge metal pots of traditional porridge were set to boil near a temple. Amidst the crowd, CCTV footage captures a
like actual food?
Man named Muthukumar slowly walking toward those very pots. His steps looked unsteady, as if he were intoxicated or unwell. Within seconds, looking for support.
We got some spam. I think I saw this on a Twitter video once.
To lean on, he stood against one of the massive metal pots, not realizing it was filled with boiling porridge.
What do you mean not realizing it? You would feel the heat.
Immediately, temple workers tried to reach and pull him back, but they were a second too late. Mutukamar had already lost his balance and fallen straight into the burning pot. In a panic, the people around him pushed and overturned the heavy pot on the road to free him, but by that time he had already suffered
porridge.
third-degree burns all over his...
All the porridge is gone now. Bro, he literally was taking a bath. He fully intentionally did that.
His body. His condition was so severe that even doctors couldn't do much to save him. In only a few hours on July 29th, 2022, Mutukamar succumbed to his injuries.
Yeah, it was just some human, some human,
Police later...
Some porridge, was it? I forgot the name. Some human porridge on the floor. Just animals be eating that.
Revealed that Mutukamar wasn't drunk. Instead, he had epilepsy, which...
Oh, well now I feel terribly bad saying all of that. Oh.
Struck him at the wrong place and wrong time, sealing his...
Oh, dude, there was not even any flashing stuff going. That's so sad.
Struck him at the wrong place and wrong time, sealing his fate.
Oh, he literally didn't know there was anything in the pot. Now, dude, I'm an asshole. Now I feel like a complete
floor disaster. On June 23, 2018, Tatiana Pokorenka walked into the Gallery Club in Western Siberia to celebrate her 35th birthday. She was having fun with friends, unaware that just above them was a huge metal structure with 6 karaoke screens hanging from the ceiling. At that time, the DJ was lifting the screens so people on the first floor could sing karaoke too. The moment the heavy frame rose toward the ceiling, the unthinkable happened. The entire structure suddenly gave way, and 440 pounds of metal and screens came crashing down on Tatiana.
Bro, that's got to be more than 440. I'm sorry, that's a lot of weight.
The impact was so catastrophic that it crushed Tatiana's head instantly. However, the investigation later revealed a troubling truth.
Wow.
The structure in the club had been installed without proper safety checks.
Again.
Consequently, the club owner, Semen Kapaigora, was charged with causing death by negligence. Finally, on July 6th, he received a 3-year suspended sentence.
That's just stupid, dude. It's never enough. I mean, it's still murder, dude. And just because it's business-oriented, it doesn't mean it's not murder.
If you thought the clips so far were unsettling...
At least manslaughter. What the fuck, dude? That's so upsetting. I hate those.
Level 3. A routine bath went wrong. An elephant carer in Kerala, Arun Panikar, was giving his elephant its usual bath. But the situation turned bad the moment Arun asked it to lie down so he could clean its back. The elephant's hesitation at first led Arun to strike it with a stick.
Bro, they are dangerous. And they look so cute all the time.
To make it obey. But because of the wet floor, Arun himself lost his balance and slipped.
You scared him?
The elephant didn't see this, as it just turned onto the other side to lie down.
Oh no!
As a result, the animal dropped its massive body on Arun, crushing him immediately under its weight. The average weight of a male elephant is around 12,000 pounds, so the extreme pressure squashed Arun's head in seconds. The entire horror was recorded on CCTV as it unfolded on the morning of the 3rd of March, 2019.
Oh, imagine going outside and seeing that and being the one who has to call it in. Oh my god.
Quickly, Arun's assistant ran toward him
and tried to be this guy.
To pull him out, but by that time, Arun had already died, creating a blood-soaked scene. In Kerala, where domesticated elephants are relatively common, such deaths are a haunting reminder that no matter how trained the animal is, the power it carries can turn fatal without warning.
Yeah, dude, even the ones that are all dressed up and cute.
What came after a wedding? After a wedding celebration had ended on August 14th, 2025, 4 men came to remove the temporary decorative tent. 2 of them were busy adjusting the metal structure standing on a metal ladder, while the other 2 stayed on the ground. But none of them noticed there was a live wire hanging dangerously close above them. As soon as they lifted a metal rod higher, it brushed against the wire, surging a powerful current through the rod. The shock struck all 4 men within a moment.
Oh my god, wait, all 4?
Collapsing them instantly. Luckily, 3 of the men survived with injuries.
Holy
The 4th guy, who was later identified as Lucky Gaikwad, couldn't make it. His
not
shock
so lucky,
impact
huh?
was too severe, and so after 10 days of the incident, he passed away. What's horrible is that this was the 9th death from an accidental electrocution in the area, but still nobody took any action to fix the system.
I mean, what are they gonna do though? It's like an equipment thing, probably like a funding thing. They got no power.
Burned by the plan. A CCTV camera in Peru caught a man riding up on a motorcycle to a shop on Calle Juana Capac 146.
Bro, his pronunciation of it is so good. I don't know how long he spends retaking all those shots.
But he was not there to buy anything. Instead, he carried gasoline which he poured over the entrance of the store. To make sure the damage would spread through the entire shop, he even smashed its glass wall. As soon as he lit the fire, the raging flames reached inside the store.
It's like he's never done this before. It's like Ghost Rider getting out of there.
Tragically, at the moment, some people were still working inside.
Oh, no.
However, the real horror didn't happen there in the beginning. While pouring the gasoline, it had soaked the attacker's clothes and motorcycle as well. Naturally, the flames reached his arms and legs first, burning him brutally. But the situation worsened when he started his motorcycle and fled the scene, partially engulfed in flames. Meanwhile, inside the store, the situation turned equally bad. On this devastating fire of January 23rd, 2026, at least 3 people were injured, including 1 young individual and a woman suffering extreme burns. Police believed it could be linked to extortion, yet the striking part was that even though the suspect escaped with serious burns, he wasn't found in any hospital. So it's unknown whether he's alive or not, considering the burns that he had.
It didn't even look like he got away. That's crazy.
Race to the grave.
That shit actually worked?
2 young men raced their motorcycles through the dark along Sinsuat Street in Kidapawan City, Philippines. The road looked empty enough, and on top of that, to ensure safety, they even used spotters to watch for
he's wearing flip-flops.
Patrol cars, so they knew
you can't be safe with
ensure
this.
Safety,
like,
they even used spotters.
Ensure safety. He's wearing slides on the motorcycle.
To watch for patrol cars, so they knew exactly when the highway was clear. But on October 5th, 2025, the tables turned.
Oh my god.
While they started a high-speed race, a multi-purpose vehicle suddenly took a slow right turn.
I mean, bro, what are you doing?
Across the street. It was completely unaware of the race taking place there. One of the racing motorcycles slipped past the crossing without a problem. For a moment, it looked like both the riders would make it through. But the second motorcycle, driven by a 20-year-old man, was moving so fast that he lost control, seeing the car in front. With no time to brake or any space to swerve, it crashed hard into the MPV.
Wow.
The impact was so strong that the rider was killed instantly. The driver and passenger inside the MPV
oh my god, 22-year-old?
were also injured and rushed to a nearby hospital for treatment. And thankfully,
There were
they
2
survived.
people on it?
The illegal motorcycle drag racing still happens in that city, waiting to cost another life, another day.
God, I mean, that's you don't even know it. You just a blink of an eye, you're gone. Your whole life.
Light they missed. A car's dash cam unexpectedly caught something terrifying at a crossroads. A man from Thailand, Thanyut Damat, was driving his passenger, Kewalin Srirod, to Layam Chabang Port on the afternoon of March 17, 2024. As the traffic light turned green, Thanyut moved to cross the Highway 7 intersection. But he didn't notice a black Toyota Vios sedan which had suddenly emerged from the underpass. Despite seeing the red signal for its lane, the sedan didn't stop and sped through the intersection.
Oh no.
As a result, it ended up in a fatal head-on collision with Tanyot's gray Isuzu pickup truck. The impact was so catastrophic that the sedan was violently flipped over. Inside it, 4 were in critical condition and the 5th one was already dead due to the impact. The
Wow.
injured people were taken to the hospital quickly, but despite emergency treatment, 2 more passengers from the sedan later died from their injuries. Luckily, both Thanyo Damat and Kewalin...
I mean, that's just a really bad car accident. And it wasn't like all that. I mean, the light just changed. He still shouldn't have ran that shit, but that's almost exactly how I got hit by that drunk guy that one time. So I feel for that guy.
Sirad survived, though they were badly injured. Level 4. Fun night to prison. January 8th, 2025 was supposed to be a fun night for 3 young people. Daria Arkhipova,
No, this is not going to be good.
Eliana Yakubova, and her boyfriend. Evelina was driving a car through Novoye Arakchino in Russia,
Bro, I'm going to throw her clean off the hill. I
pulling
already
a
know
snow tube behind called a vatrushka. Daria was riding on it, but things turned ugly when the car picked up speed. The tube instantly swung wide and slammed into a road sign at a dangerous speed, with
Oh, that might be even worse.
Daria still sitting on it. As a result, Daria ended up with a fatal head trauma.
Wow.
Despite that, Evelina and her boyfriend didn't call an ambulance to the scene. Instead, they drove her to the 7th City Hospital where Evelina worked as a nurse. Daria didn't survive the night. But to protect themselves from the charges, Evelina and her boyfriend told the medics that Daria had crashed into a fence while sledding down a hill.
Oh, wow. They just straight lied about the whole situation?
What's even more shocking is that the couple returned to the scene after a few hours to cover the pool of blood with fresh snow, tampering with the crime scene. What they didn't realize was...
Yo, that's so dirty. What the Like, what kind of people? Like, really?
...that a nearby surveillance camera had already recorded everything they did that night. On January 10th, when traffic police found the footage, all the lies the couple told fell apart. Consequently, they were arrested and tampering with evidence.
Wow.
Later in court, Evelina admitted her guilt and received a prison sentence.
I mean, that is a stupid thing to be doing, though. Like, straight up, you're just silly for that.
Gift turned deadly. An old man in South Korea gifted his neighbor a side dish bowl and a frying pan. But after a few days, on October 13th, 2024, the family returned those gifts. And that did not sit well with the old man, and things only went downhill from there. The 15-year-old boy in the neighbor's family watched as the voices rose, water was sprayed, and things quickly turned messy.
Bro,
When he stepped in himself, the situation took another disturbing turn. Everyone stood in shock as the boy punched the elderly neighbor in the face twice. The brutal force immediately sent the man crashing to the ground, and his head hit the floor with a hard thud.
Oh, no.
Within minutes, he was taken to a nearby hospital because of his severe condition. It turned out that he had a fractured skull and a cerebral hemorrhage.
Bro, that's why you should just never be fighting nobody. Like, no matter how mad you get, never, like, start swinging or getting violent, because it could turn into this. Like, he's going to jail for the rest of his life.
But his condition got worse each day, and within 4 days, he died. Before this incident, the two families had been on good terms for 7 years, close enough to exchange gifts. But after that day, everything changed. Even worse, the victim's family said no apology ever came. Instead, they claimed the neighbors had said things like, "He was destined to die," and "We are also victims." Since the teenager was not likely to escape the trial, the court let him roam free and continue attending high school. However, under the law, what he did is actually punishable by up to 3 years in prison.
So they didn't punish him at all for it. That's actually kind of messed up. Like, you can finish school? What the fuck? I wouldn't want to work in... I wouldn't want to be like a student in that same school. That's super fucked.
Switch. A security guard at Yemen's Budul Hotel walked away from the reception desk to pray, leaving his weapon behind with a receptionist. But no one realized how things started going wrong after that. On November 22nd, 2017, customers were routinely checking in or out in the hotel reception. Meanwhile, after finishing his prayer, the security guard returned to retrieve his gun. But instead of being a simple handover, it ended up in a sudden loud bang that shook
Oh my god, it was an accident?
the entire hotel's reception instantly. While the guard was taking the gun back, his finger
my
casually
God.
brushed the trigger and instantly it fired. The guard had no idea
Oh my god, at him?
that it wasn't in the condition it should be. The gun's safety notch had been left open all the time. As a result, a simple move turned into bloodshed.
Oh my god.
The receptionist had been fatally hurt in the chest, and a pool of blood quickly spread across the tiles. He still struggled to get back on his feet, but the wound was so severe that
see
he
it there.
couldn't help but collapse. Emergency help was attempted right there in
Oh,
the
you could
hotel
see it
floor,
there.
but in the end, he couldn't make it. It is also unknown what happened to the security guard after the incident.
Dude, I hope they took all of his licenses away or whatever. Because what kind of a stupid accident is that, dude? That's like Boy Scouts #1 rule of, like, weapons. Come on, bro. I know that.
A lethal passport verification. A 55-year-old Indian woman, Ishrat Bijum, walked into the police station for passport verification before going to Mecca for Islamic pilgrimage. Little did she know that an unexpected danger was looming right beside her. While she waited in the queue, just a few feet away, the head constable, Sudeep Kumar, handed the sub-inspector Manoj Sharma a loaded pistol. But instead of securing it,
Why?
he began checking and cocking the weapon while other people were standing nearby. Suddenly, the gun fired, and a bullet hit Ishrat
Oh my
in the
God.
back of the head.
What?
Almost instantly, she collapsed to the floor while a CCTV camera recorded the entire incident. She was immediately rushed to the hospital in critical condition,
Yeah, what is with people mishandling guns? And why are they all, like, wearing a uniform? What the
but the gunshot wound was so deadly that she did not survive.
Oh, back of
However,
the head.
what
No.
An accident so far suddenly took a darker turn as more details came out. Ishrat Bijum's son revealed that she had been receiving calls demanding money for passport verification. Shockingly, the calls were traced back to the head constable Sudeep Kumar. He demanded a hefty bribe from Ishrat, summoned her to the police station on December 8th, 2023, the day the incident happened. To worsen the matter, he was the one who handed the gun to Manoj. Naturally, the chain of events made the incident look less like a random accident and more like a
was a plan.
staged killing. The suspicion grew even stronger when Sub-Inspector Manoj Sharma suddenly went missing.
Oh.
Consequently, he was suspended with immediate effect for negligence. And after staying on the run for a week, on December 16th, 2023, he was arrested and charged with Constable Sudeep Kumar was also jailed for his role in handing over the pistol.
Bro, and if it was an accident, it could have been like a 3-year manslaughter thing. But nah, he really did that for like a vendetta. Sorry, Perseus is leaving as expected. Oh my god. Okay.
The robber's plan. An industrial warehouse in Brazil nearly turned into a battlefield when 3 masked and armed men broke in to carry out a robbery. But to prevent any resistance, they first pointed their guns straight at the guard booth. The leader of the robbers even climbed a ladder and kicked hard at the corridor door of the booth. But the night of September 15th, 2025, quickly turned against them. Inside
I just don't think this approach is going to work.
the small booth,
They don't
the security
seem-
guard realized that if the door had given way, he would not survive. So he fired back desperately through the window, hitting the first intruder. He dropped to the ground immediately and died on the spot.
Damn.
As the leader fell, the other 2 robbers panicked and kept shooting randomly. But as the guard fired again, one more robber was hit, turning the robbery into a failure. Realizing they were cornered by the armed guards, one of them took
his
his
leg looks
own life.
fucked up.
Only the 3rd man somehow
Good, bro.
fled the scene without realizing that the entire exchange was already captured on CCTV.
What a bunch of
So
losers.
the police quickly tracked him down and arrested him. But what they did to him after that was never disclosed. Machete in the mall.
Oh,
It was a
no.
Sunday afternoon on January
I hate
21st,
machete
2018, when three 18-year-olds walked into the mall in Luton, England. Families were busy shopping and children were enjoying the holiday. But amidst this, one of those three boys, Chase Stevens, engaged in a heated argument with the other two, Luca Sani and Imani Pobi da Silva. The mall security
Okay.
first separated them, but it didn't end it. Instead, they moved to a quieter part of the mall, and since no one was there to hold them back, the argument escalated into a fight. And what followed next was a bloody mess. Stevens suddenly reached into his waistband and pulled out a large kitchen knife and stabbed Pobi da Silva in the arm. Quickly, Sani also brought out a machete, swiping at Stevens, but he missed the
They
target.
both just got blades?
Instead, taking this opportunity, Stevens struck him too by driving the blade into Sani's thigh, causing a life-threatening wound. The entire mall froze in shock and terror, while Sani ran through the center, leaving a long trail of blood. But after running a few steps, he collapsed while children and
Yeah, there's a vein,
families
bro.
looked on. An off-duty medic followed the blood and used a belt as a tourniquet. Otherwise, Sani might have died within minutes due to extreme blood loss. However, on September 20th,
Oh my God, he
2018, at
lived.
Luton Crown Court, Stevens was jailed for 7.5 years for wounding with intent and possession of a blade. Sani also received 5 years, and Pobi da Silva just 12 months.
Yo, they need to get that. That was all messed up. The sentences, they were totally different.
Level 5. Snow turns red. After a winter storm dumped more than 30 inches of snow, a husband and wife, James and Lisa Goy in Pennsylvania, stepped out of their home to clear the driveway. But as they started pushing the snow onto their neighbor's property, things escalated in an unexpected way.
Did we see this or hear about
The
this?
neighbor, Jeffrey Spade, a lone Navy veteran, didn't like what they did, so he asked them to stop. But instead, the couple started arguing, and over time, the shouting grew louder. Surveillance footage captured that the fight was getting personal with obscene gestures and threats. James Goy even raised his fist at one point. Jeffrey, however, turned around and walked back into his house. However, what looked like a peace offering was actually preparation
went and
for
got a
the
gun.
worst. Just seconds later,
Typical
Jeffrey
Jeffrey.
came back holding a pistol and shot the couple brutally. Being hit, Lisa instantly collapsed onto the pavement while a bleeding James somehow ran toward his house, but he
Wow.
fell midway onto the ground. Despite the bloodshed, the night of February 1st, 2021 wasn't over yet.
He literally gunned
Jeffrey
them down.
walked back again into his house, only to return with an AR-style rifle. With this, he made sure neither of the couple survived.
Wow.
Shortly before 9 in the morning, police responded to reports of gunfire and
fucking
found
snow?
James and Lisa Goy lying dead in the street. But little did they know that Jeffrey wasn't done yet. While the
What?
officers surrounded Jeffrey's house for interrogation, they heard one gunshot from
okay.
inside his house. Before the cops could get him,
Killed
Jeffrey
himself.
Spade had taken his own life. Though it's unclear why a disciplined man like Jeffrey did this, some claim it's the Goy family who often threw tantrums and caused problems for the neighbors. They even used to bully Jeffrey by calling him homophobic and racist just because he was single. There's no concrete evidence to support these, but that night, the argument indeed escalated when the Goy couple
There's no reason you should be pulling guns on nobody. That's just crazy. work.
Tower Inferno. When Gomati Enterprises closed for the night of November 24th, 2025, the ground floor of the electronics shop suddenly detonated. A massive blast punched through the two-story building in Hyderabad with enough force to tear the heavy metal shutters from their frames. They flew outward like guillotine blades. And during that time, a man in his 50s was just passing the storefront on his night walk, and he had had no time to react. The steel caught him mid-stride and killed him on the pavement. Inside the shop,
What?
fire erupted across the showroom floor. Flames crawled up through the stairwell to the first floor where the owner, Shiva Kumar
Holy shit.
Bansal, and his family lived. 80% of his body was burned by the time rescuers pulled him free. They rushed him to a private hospital in Malakpet, where doctors worked to keep him alive. Luckily, his family had been home that night and avoided the disaster. By the time the fire crews reached the spot, the building was engulfed. 8 fire tenders, a Bronto skylift, and a firefighting robot were deployed to control the blaze.
Jesus.
Eyewitnesses claimed the
They got those?
explosion had
Firefighting
come
robots?
from inside the shop. Some even thought that a CNG car had rammed into the closest shutter and caused the blast. But none of them were true. Police and fire officials began to suspect that the fire
what
may have
actually
started
happened?
inside the shop. In fact, an initial probe suggested that a refrigerator or air conditioner compressor may have exploded.
What?
However, since the area had little to no CCTV, it was hard to confirm exactly how it happened. But locals aren't convinced it was an accident. That's because the government's metro expansion project involves over 1,100 properties in that area, so all of it could be staged to force owners out. No
What?
M evidence has
Bro,
confirmed that
that's
theory.
too much.
But the pattern is hard to ignore.
You think people really do that? Play disasters, like actual disasters like that for their own gain?
Level
That's
6.
insane.
Tracks of no return. On September 8th, 2025, while boarding their
I don't
usual
know.
bus to work, none of the passengers thought they would witness one of the most horrifying mornings of their lives. That day, a double-decker bus left Atlacomulco, Mexico, with 51 passengers heading toward Mexico City. En route, they had to cross a railway track with no signals or crossing gates. And the moment the bus tried to cross, it became trapped on the tracks. On the other hand, a train was already coming at it at
no.
full speed. What made the situation even worse was that it had no room to reverse, as a massive traffic jam had built up behind it.
And
So with each
people suck and they're impatient, so...
passing second, the nightmare became unavoidable. In front of the entire traffic jam, the train slammed into the bus with lethal force. The impact was so deadly that it tore the bus into 2 halves. One side was hurled across the tracks, while the
Holy
other
fuck.
twisted in metal and glass. 10 passengers were already killed on the spot, while 61 others were critically injured.
Oh, imagine being there and then you're trying to get everyone out and then someone you see is clearly gone. Like, you're like, yeah, whoa. Like, I would be shocked.
Only the bus
I don't know how
driver
you
fled
keep
the scene
going.
in time, realizing the fatal mistake he had made.
He fled the scene?
Later, he was arrested on charge of homicide.
He would have been fine if he just stayed there, no?
When the SUV jumped. After crossing the US-Mexico border, a group of Venezuelan migrants stood at a bus stop in Texas waiting for a ride downtown.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
They had no idea that a gray Range Rover was racing toward them at a dangerous speed. Even though the signal turned red, the car didn't slow
Oh,
down.
no. That's just like what's like a hate crime, dude.
As a result, what happened next in the morning of May 7th, 2023 changed those men's lives entirely. Due to its extreme speed, the
Yeah, no, I don't think you could show
Range
that.
Rover jumped the curb, and before this group of men could move to safety, it plowed straight into them. The car literally flipped on its side and struck 18 people sitting there. The impact killed 6 of them instantly, while 12 were left severely injured. But as hours passed,
No,
the death
why?
toll rose to 8. The nearby CCTV footage captured the entire brutal incident.
Oh.
Among the victims was also an 18-year-old boy who had just crossed the border to reunite with his mother. Only one of the migrants, Jackson Duarte, remained safe because instead of waiting for the bus, he had taken an Uber at the last moment.
Wow.
However,
Some
the
universe
investigation
shit
revealed the
every
man
time,
behind
bro.
the wheel wasn't so innocent. Instead, he was identified as 34-year-old Jorge Alvarez, who had a long criminal record already. From 2
this is
charges
the
of
guy that
aggravated
ran?
assault with a deadly weapon to assaulting family
9 assault charges against family members? Oh my god. That's so many.
members, burglary, and possession of marijuana. He was convicted on all counts.
Dude, that is incredibly
Even after the crash, while rescuers were rushing to help the injured, Jorge tried to escape. But
Bro, and you're just riding the bus. You're trying to get around with public transport, and then you got some ultra convict driving the bus.
bystanders chased him down, cornering him, and held him there until the police arrived. Moreover, he gave the police several fake names to avoid his previous charges. Later,
What a loser.
his toxicology tests showed that while driving, he was under the influence of anti-anxiety pills and consequently,
Who hired this guy? I mean,
Brownsville police charged him with 8 counts of manslaughter and 10 counts of aggravated assault.
well, I mean, see, oh, he's just a random guy. Nobody hired him. I'm just tripping. But he's a hater. Happy Saturday, 411 Smiths. Is it Saturday? Bro, I am so lost. It's Friday. It's Friday. Unless you're on a different time zone, then it could be Saturday for you.
With a deadly weapon. Level 7. Inside the secret hell.
The secret
5
hell?
years ago, a bunch of exclusive CCTV footage was leaked for the world to see. But many who watched it described it as footage from hell, something that should have never been made public. It was from Iran's Evin prison, a facility long known for detaining political prisoners and facing repeated allegations of torture. The video showed some guards sitting in the prison control room,
bro, there ain't no way you could look at all of those cameras.
casually watching rows of surveillance screens. But suddenly things went terribly wrong for them. Without warning, the monitors began to flicker one by one. In an instant, the live feeds disappeared, and a single word replaced
Melbourne. Oh, that's so sick. That's cool. I hope your day's going well.
them.
I don't know what a normal
Cyber
day in
attack.
Melbourne is.
It
But I bet
also
it's sick.
flashed a message calling for the freedom of political prisoners. As a result, the panicked guards started filming the screens and making frantic phone calls. It was evident that the prison system was slipping out of control.
We're getting hacked.
However, behind
Guys.
all these was an Iranian hacker group who called themselves Adalat-e-Ali, or the Justice of Ali in English. They sent some mysterious stolen footage to the Associated Press, claiming they wanted everyone to see what happened inside Evin prison.
I kind of don't
And the
hate
footage
hackers,
left
you know?
everyone who watched deeply unsettled. It showed
kinda
overcrowded
hard.
cells with triple bunk beds packed with 15 to 18 men, prisoners wrapped in blankets against the cold, and no one wearing masks even during the coronavirus
Bro, that is so much worse than U.S. prisons. Holy shit.
pandemic. Slowly, the images grew harder to watch. A clip dated June 9th, 2020 showed a guard
Oh my
punching a
God.
prisoner until his nose bled. Another dated May 20th, 2020 showed officers
that's that
kicking
Harvard
and dragging
shit,
a
though.
handcuffed man, and footage from April 26, 2021 showed a frail prisoner fainting in the courtyard and being dragged across the ground while others walked past casually.
Holy shit, dude.
Since the footage was leaked in August 2021, it only captured events leading up to that year. Amnesty International later reviewed 16 clips and said they showed beatings,
bro, they definitely have killed people in there.
self-harm,
Like, just
neglect,
doing that.
and severe overcrowding. Later, the head of Iran's state prison organization, Mohammad Medihaj Mohammadi, called this leak unacceptable. But it had
Well, yeah.
exposed the true face of evil of their Evin prison, proving its abuse allegations were true all along.
Oh, bro, he's handcuffed. That's so
The
fucked.
doomed shift. The Elastic plant in Lesnoy, Russia, manufactured
Eesh.
explosives and chemical products. For years, it operated without incident, but on October
It's gonna
22nd,
explode.
2021, that
Oh
piece
my god.
That day, 17 factory workers started their normal Friday shift. Since they handled gunpowder and industrial chemicals, their jobs always had high stakes. Even a minor
Prisons
mistake
in other countries are a lot worse. Don't get me wrong. Prisons, neither. Yeah, dude, I feel like they really treat people well, like I'm thinking like 60 days in. Like that's what I'm thinking jail is like or prison, I guess. I don't know. Beyond Scared Straight, I feel like was super fake. So, I don't know about that.
Mistake could lead to a catastrophic accident. Still, that morning, something in the process failed. As a result, a massive explosion ripped through the building in a second. The explosion was
Bro,
so powerful
you
that
get
it registered on
vaporized.
seismographs as a small earthquake. Outside, a car's dashcam recorded a huge yellow fireball rising into the sky as flames swallowed the workshop. At first, officials said only 7 people had died and 9 were missing. And while it sounded terrible, it still left hope that some might be found alive. However, as rescue teams searched the wreckage, the numbers changed quickly. It turned out that
Jesus.
8 missing workers...
I mean, that's not even that much for that kind of an explosion. That's crazy. Modern slavery legalized is prison. Bro, I when I was hiring people for this other company, there was people that were saying they're getting like cents an hour, like literally getting like commissary money for work, but it was like next to nothing. Like I don't even know. I feel like you should still have some sort of, rights and stuff in prison. It's just it's bad.
were confirmed dead. Only the
I mean, like at that point, why are we even keeping them alive? If it's just going to be torture like that, then we're just as bad as them. No?
last one was still alive in the hospital but in critical condition. And unfortunately, after a few days, he also passed. But what makes the case suspicious is that the exact reason behind this massive blast was never explained. Only some whistleblowers' accounts point to a darker cause. Long before the incident, workers had filed dozens of safety complaints, but all of them were ignored.
Of
Even
course,
after
more
the blast,
negligence.
the victims' families were pressured to accept small payouts by signing NDAs. Since the town of
Wow.
Lesnoy was classified as a restricted city, conducting a thorough investigation became nearly impossible, leaving the actual reason still a mystery.
Wow,
When the
anything for them
sky
to-
burned...
anything for them to save money. Like, who gives a fuck about people's lives? That's so at least the U.S. cares a little bit more about that, I guess. Maybe.
Port of Shahid Raji happens to be...
Yeah, I think it was like 25 cents an hour, like 30 cents an hour if you're like doing it for several years or something. Like, that's crazy, bro. Like, your perception's gonna be... That's like, what, 2 honey buns a day or something? I don't even know if they do inflation with commissary. Like, they don't make... They try to say it's not supposed to be enjoyable because it's prison, but there's a difference between unenjoyable and torture.
Iran's largest commercial port and the key gateway for trade near the Strait of Hormuz. But what happened there on April
dude,
26,
profits over people.
2025
It's fucked.
doomed the entire nation.
Because they get money from the government just for holding the people. Like, I learned that like a long time ago, and I was like, oh my god, government, maybe they're kind of
For months. The workday started at the port as usual. Workers were moving containers and ships were unloading cargo beside the Strait of Hormuz. However, chaos erupted around 12 o'clock local time when a small fire started in the Sina container yard. First, a reddish smoke rose slowly between stacked
industrial
containers.
fires are the worst.
The workers nearby tried to put it out, but it eventually spiraled out of their control.
That looks toxic.
Minutes
as fuck.
later, the fire grew worse instead of fading. It spread towards several containers that possibly hold ammonium perchlorate, a powerful oxidizer
What?
used in rocket fuel. It took only 20 minutes for the flames to reach those containers. Instantly, a massive explosion
Wow.
tore through the wharf, killing
Holy
15
fuck.
firefighters on the spot. Even all the staff inside the nearby administrative building were
Holy
dead
shit.
in seconds. The impact was far more dangerous than an ordinary fire. It sent a thick
Wow.
black cloud soaring high into the sky, shattering windows kilometers away and collapsing at least one building. The sound of the blast was
I wouldn't even believe that that's real. Like, I would think I'm in some kind of movie or something. That is just insane. Holy fuck. Yeah, when they get that, they don't have enough money either. Yeah, dude, that's part of the problem. They don't like plan for them to ever get out. Like that's just what we say. It's like recycling. That's not even real. We just pretend that it's like helping the environment so that people will do it. They're just time sharing you.
Kilometers away and collapsing at least one building. The sound of the blast was heard as far as Kesham Island, 26 kilometers away, even up to 31 miles from the site. People felt the shockwave of the blast. At least 57 were killed instantly in the port area, and more than 1,000 were critically injured. However, the raging fire still burned for 2 days before it was finally brought under control. Because the fire kept spreading from one container to another, creating back-to-back explosions, as a result, the authorities had to suspend port operations completely and even close schools and offices on April 27th. Even the residents around the area were told to stay indoors and wear masks because toxic gases filled the air, and chemical runoff began to contaminate the Persian Gulf. In fact, dead fish washed ashore for weeks, and the Persian Gulf ecosystem
I never even thought about environmental like impacts of that. Holy shit. You're like ruining the entire environment.
Area may take decades to recover. Investigators later revealed that hazardous goods and chemicals stored at the port likely caused the blast. Beside that, there were instances of safety failures leading to 2 arrests on May 4th involving a government official. But there's one crucial coincidence that breaks this case wide open.
Some corruption.
The accident happened while Iran and the United States were holding nuclear talks in Oman. A successful deal between them could have removed sanctions, allowing Iran to sell oil again, slow down its nuclear work, and reduce tensions in the region. Instead, the explosion delayed talks, led to new sanctions, showed weaknesses in Iran's security, and froze nearly 90% of Iran's container traffic.
Didn't something just happen with that again? Didn't we just make some kind of deal or something? I have not been paying attention because I just don't give a shit about like politics and stuff.
As a result, it shook the entire nation that was already under geopolitical pressure. So many suspected it was not just an accident. And the stockpiling kept growing as the officials were bribed for years to ignore the dangerous cargo. However, Iran continues to suppress every allegation against it.
Oh my God, that car's trying to back out.
The wronged protest. Just 21 days before Turkey's general election, thousands of people protested outside Ankara Central Railway Station. But none of them expected the rally to end in such a disastrous outcome.
This many people gathering can never be good. Like, it never ends up being like such a positive thing. It's like overcrowding.
Months earlier, on July 20th, 2015, the conflict between the Turkish armed forces and the Kurdish military organization PKK had already led to a devastating bombing in Suruk, killing 33 people. That led to countrywide protests, and within 3 months, it looked as if the country was sliding towards civil war. Even that day, on October 10th, 2015, the people outside Ankara stood fighting, unaware that just beside them was a ticking time bomb. And at 10:04 in the morning, it exploded. But before anyone could realize what had happened, just seconds later, another blast ripped through the area. In an instant, a peaceful march had turned into a pile of bodies and smoke. 86 people were dead on the spot, and 186 were fatally wounded. But by the next day, the number kept rising to 95 dead and 250 injured. At the same time, Turkey blocks—
oh my God, it was a bombing. I thought it was like an accidental thing.
—detected nationwide social media slowdowns, so even information started to disappear alongside the victims. To this day, it was the deadliest attack in Turkish history. On October 19th, one of the was officially identified as Yunus Emre Alagos, who was suspected of having links to terrorist groups ISIL. In August 2018, a court finally sentenced 9 defendants to life in prison, and 36 suspected ISIL members were charged.
I mean, why do they even do that? They just get sold the idea that it'll make them like last in the afterlife or something, right? Isn't that like why they act like that and do things like that?
But even after all the chaos, the conflict between the PKK and Turkish armed forces kept growing.
Jesus, dude, that's like a huge bomb. That's like not even. That's like in. How do they even know how to make like that?